Yes, self-builders, I'm back with another episode of Self-Builds by Fenton. It's been a minute. I've been so busy the last 3 weeks with work, building websites, as I mentioned to you guys before, and just generally life catching up with me. But I'm back now, ready to catch up and give you some more updates and where we are at with the drainage situation and forward planning to get this project underway. Yes, people, I'm back again. It's Fenton here from Self-Builds by Fenton. It's been a minute. Life has just caught up, so I haven't posted for the past 3 weeks, but I'm determined to catch up again and provide you guys with some valuable content to help you on your self-build journey. So where do we start? On the last episode, I was talking about where we're at with the drainage update. I think we're on like episode 9 or 10 now with drainage. It's dragging out, but as I say, it's probably the most important phase of the project, because if this part is wrong or goes wrong or doesn't go correctly, then it sets a precedent for the rest of the project. So just to give a bit of context for those that are new, we've already got a build-over agreement in place with Thames Water at the moment. But the problem was we missed a public sewer pipe on the drawings, which was supposed to be factored in. And fundamentally, that would change the design that Thames Water would need to approve. So all we've had to do is engage a new architect. So shout out Dave, top architect in the game. And he's helped us come up with a new design, which we'd need to submit to Thames Water based on the fact that we now clearly know the public sewer network which sits under our house. And the challenge we had with this particular sewage network was the fact that, number one, with normal typical residential properties, they're like 450 mil under the ground. Our one is about 6 foot, nearly, similar height to me, or a bit smaller than me. I'm 6'6" for those that don't know. But so that was the biggest challenge we faced. And the challenge the architect faced, Dave, was the fact that there's not that much material out there from Thames Water specifically to tell us what he needs to do to get our drainage design so that it's compliant and meets building regulations. So naturally, it's going to be a lot of back and forth with Thames Water to make sure that what we give them as a design, they're fundamentally happy with. And reason for this is, if there's a problem or an issue, they're able to come out and rod or do whatever's necessary to rectify a blockage or a problem. So the latest email we received back from Thames Water was this. So just to set the expectation, what we did from the point of getting a build-over agreement in place originally, for which I mentioned, we didn't have the whole network mapped out correctly. We did a CCTV survey, which enabled us to clearly define what was where, how the drainage runs, which direction they were going in, and all the factors we needed to consider to help Thames Water make a decision on how to move our drainage design forward, or our build-over agreement forward. So since that last update, what we did was send an email, give them just a one-pager design of what the architect that we've got, so Dave, has put forward to kind of suggest we would do in a draft sense, to see if they would give us a level or a provisional approval of the design, so we could just crack on and minimize the time and effort going backwards or forwards in exchange with Thames Water. And it was more like something like, we've discovered a public sewer run which is not reflected in the original drainage plan submission. So we've taken a CCTV survey of this run, and building controller advised us to reconfirm you were happy with our revised approach based on the new drainage plan created by our architect. And I basically attached a PDF of just a single page with the new plan, clarifying whether this is acceptable to them or not. And the architect also did have some additional questions. This is what I was mentioning about before, the fact that there were things that we would never have known, because the information isn't public based on the current sewer network that goes through our house. So because it's public, there's limited information on the internet about creating a compliant design, irrespective of reading building regs or not, that would need specific answers from Thames Water on. Okay. And then Thames Water came back with an email to say, in order to review the application, we require an existing drainage plan, a detailed cross-section drawing, confirming the pipe diameter, and just reinstated and reclarified for those that are not aware that Thames Water do not allow internal manholes, even if they are double sealed. This will need to be marked in the writing on the plans, completely removed. And to confirm if this drawing is acceptable, we need to see the full existing drainage plan. Now, as I mentioned, we already got a build-over agreement last year on this, but the problem is that the design that was submitted at that point didn't accurately reflect what the drainage network was under the ground. Even though it got approved, reason was, I think, because there was some assumptions made around that original design, and also Thames Water didn't have our sewer network mapped, so they just had to trust the information that they had been given by that architect at the time. And it's important we did that, because if we did follow that design and if we did go forward with that, then we may be in a position where we've dug up half the house and or the ground, and you're in a position now where it's a case of having to redo the design whilst you've got your sewer network open, all smelling, etc. So yeah, lucky we've done this, because we could have created ourselves a big problem here. Anyway, the elements that Thames Water have asked us for, our architect has gone away and created those 3 documents, and here they are. So this one is the drainage existing drawing. So this is what the current house looks like at the moment, as you can see. The next one, if I move over, is the proposed, and again, this is what it's going to look like in terms of the design, based on what the architect thinks is the best approach to resolve the fact that we need to build 2 houses sewer networks in relation to the design itself. And finally, a cross-section drawing that we need to submit as well. So these elements are the 3 elements you will need if you're planning to do a build-over agreement at some stage with Thames Water. And what Thames Water kindly did was send us examples of the drawings that they need in order to make a decision on your network, or drawing, should I say. So what I'll do, I'll put those in the link below, and you guys can steal them off me, and you can send them to an architect when you need to get your drainage design taken care of. So since that last email response where we provided them with the documents that they requested, they've come back calling out the fact that they can't accept our proposal due to the fact that there is a bend underneath the proposed structure. It's best to leave the sewer network as it is. We would need you to show us any neighbouring access points, as it may be best to remove the existing manhole and build over the sewer with the use of concrete lintels. For me, it was a bit blurry in relation to their response, and it was quite generic. And it doesn't really give us anything to be able to go back and get the design approved. So they haven't said anything specific what we need to change on the design to get it through. So naturally, our architect Dave jumped up, and called out the fact that we need to go back to Thames Water and ask specific directions and be clear as to what it is they want in order for us to get this drainage design through. Otherwise, we're just going round and round in circles. So he gave them a call, clearly understood what they wanted, and here's an example of what we're now submitting in relation to the design, which hopefully, appeases them to sign it off, and then we can just close drainage and get on with getting it built and getting it signed off by building control. So this is what it looks like. So as you can see, this is a bit more of just an upgrade or an update to the existing drawings, and there's no way our architect would have been able to work this out without having to speak to Thames Water directly. Yeah, because there was no information that told our architect what to do from a public sewer perspective on the internet that exists currently. This needs to come from Thames Water themselves. Our architect can only propose what he thinks is best. But fundamentally, the people that own the drainage network or the sewer network need to make that final decision, because this is any comebacks. We need an audit trail or an email to trace back to the company or the people who run the drainage or sewer network. So I guess wherever you are based in the UK, whatever local, whoever runs your local sewer networks, those are the people that will need to give you the firm give you the firm thumbs up to say that you're good to proceed. Until we get that, we're not going anywhere near digging anything, because it's just going to be a waste of time. So that just about wraps up this episode. So that's where we are at the moment. And what we're waiting for finally is for Thames Water to come back with a yes. And yes, hopefully we'll be good to go and we can move forward with drainage and get started on site. It's been a long time coming. So don't forget to like and subscribe, follow the channel. I'm not going to fall off posting this time. I'm going to catch up the 3 weeks that I've been left behind and keep giving you guys value to help you guys along with your self-build journey. And again, if you've got any questions or anything, just pop them in the comments. Until next time, see you guys later. Peace.